Hey guys, happy Sunday and welcome back. Episode 7. It took me a little while to get here, guys, so I apologize for the delay. It's great to see everyone back. I hope everyone is having a wonderful weekend and we're enjoying this beautiful weather. Um, Today, I'm going to hopefully have 2 episodes out. I'm going to be focusing firstly with episode 7, which is going to be Stray Bullets, issue number 7. Or not 7, guys, man, I'm out of it. I don't know why. I haven't had enough coffee yet, apparently. Excuse me, issue number 2. I can make words right, I promise. Yeah, so issue 2 of Stray Bullets. I'm going to get into the details in just a second. I heard some really positive responses from people about issue number 1, so I figured I'd do a deep dive into issue number 2. Um, I just want to take a couple minutes to just thank everybody for coming along for the ride. You guys are absolutely awesome, and I love you. Um, I want to thank this episode. I'm going to dedicate to a special person in my life, the wonderful Jessica Fernari, who is my wonderful and amazingly beautiful fiance. She also is an incredibly talented artist, guys. You can check out her work on Instagram under the word meowchirawr. When I upload this, I'm going to put it in the comments section, the uh, the tag, and definitely check out her work and support it. She's awesome. Hopefully, within the next month or so, we're gonna have her images on the Facebook page and on the TikTok page. Guys, are gonna be uploaded to the website Threadless. It's a pretty fair website. They do all the work. They take the images, and from what I understand, the prices are pretty fair. And you'll be able to get T-shirts and stuff, and you can even get like a hoodie or whatever you want. None of the money is going to me, guys. I'm not putting it back into the page or anything like that. It's strictly I want to support her and her art stuff, and then also give you guys some cool merch because hopefully you guys like the stuff, the images and stuff, and I'm really proud of it, and I think you guys would like to rock my merch. Hopefully, I think it's good stuff, and like I said, we're gonna try to keep it reasonably priced. So that's that. Also, don't forget, guys, if you subscribe to my YouTube channel and you join the Facebook page and you share the love a little bit, you're entered into a chance to win a mystery bundle starting in October. I'm going to probably throw in some movies, maybe a graphic novel. Might be stuff that I talk about here on the channel, might be something completely different, but it's going to be a fun little bundle. So I just want to let people know about that. I also want to take a second to thank the Not a Bomb guys on Spotify and Apple. They're a great podcast. Troy and Brad, they were kind enough to share this on their podcast last week, and that's awesome, and it's greatly appreciated. They're a fantastic podcast. They go into movies that bombed at the box office, and they do a deep dive. And these guys are really, really good guys. Definitely worth your time. Also, the Gentleman's Guide to Midnight Cinema with Will and Sammy. Awesome. Both great. If you're a movie guys, put them on Spotify or Apple, whatever you listen to, and check them out. They're well worth your time. A new one I started watching, Watch Skip Plus uh, with Justin and Jose. Another movie one. I know I'm loving all these movies, but I'm a movie guy, so when I'm at work, I'm doing my thing. I'll throw this on and I'll listen, or if I'm at home, and these are all really informative and they're really entertaining, and it's just well written stuff. So those are my plugs for you guys, and like I said, these are all well worth your time. So please seek them out. So I'm going to get into Stray Bullets 2 right now. This premiered, and I'm going to use my cheat sheet, so don't judge me, guys. It premiered in April of 1995. The chapter is called Victimology. Now, if you remember my episode from a couple weeks ago, issue number 1, we mentioned, we talked about Joey and Frank and their crazy adventures. And this second issue, you'll find out in a minute, they mention a couple characters that were mentioned in the first issue. But it's kind of its own separate thing. The best way to explain this whole series, Stray Bullets, is, like I said in the first one, it's kind of, and I don't want to put it in this like cliche, but it's kind of like a Pulp Fiction where all the stories blend and there's different timelines and they all kind of mesh and they mention different characters and one might be mentioned in one issue and then might show up 4 issues later, and it's this big overall reaching story where everything eventually connects the dots and you see different characters in different timelines. Like you might see a character when he's a kid in one episode, and then 4 issues later, and he's an adult. And it all connects together into this grand masterpiece. And it genuinely is a masterpiece, guys. The original run, like I mentioned in the episode a couple weeks ago, is 41 issues. And then they started another series also in the Stray Bullets universe, which just finished up in 2020, called Sunshine and Roses. Both amazing, both well worth your time. But anyway, back to getting focused, guys, because I lose focus sometimes. Back to Stray Bullets number 2. Okay, so victimology. I'm going to go into a quick brief on the main characters, and then I'm going to break down the story for you. It takes place in Baltimore, summer of 1977. Our characters are Manny and Spanish Scott, who are gangsters. Two important characters that will be mentioned, and I'll go into them in a sec. Harry and Lonnie. Now, if you remember from a couple weeks ago when I talked about issue number 1, Harry is a big bad boss, and like I said, he's mentioned in issue number 2. And then we have Georgie, who once again I'll go into in a second. And following those characters, we have Virginia Applegate, who is our main protagonist, a young girl, probably in about 2nd or 3rd grade. We have Jill, her teenage sister. We have mom and dad. And then we have Kevin the bully. So that's the main cast. Okay, now to get into the story, give you a little breakdown here. It starts summer of 1977 in Baltimore. It's outside a movie theater, and we see these two characters, greasy-looking characters, probably in their early mid 30s. Got a guy with blonde, long hair. His name is Spanish Scott. Then you have another guy named Manny. He's kind of a chubby guy, greasy hair, curly. They're having a conversation. They're clearly across the street from this movie theater, which is showing Star Wars. And they're conversating. They're waiting for somebody. They're talking about Manny's talking about. He's making mention of this guy named Harry. Harry's a new guy to their organization. They're working for their boss, who's Lonnie. Lonnie's the big bad gangster boss, and Manny mentions to Spanish Scott how Harry has been making bets at the horse races and keeping the profit, and he's like dipping into money that he shouldn't be. And Spanish Scott goes, "Oh, well, that's really fucked up. If Lonnie hears about this, shit's gonna go real bad for Harry." So they're doing that. And while they're having this conversation, we see the movie theater, like I said, across the street. And we see a teenage girl whose name is Jill. We see a little adorable child, like I said, who's probably 2nd or 3rd grade, a little blonde-haired girl named Virginia Applegate. Also, we see Jill's boyfriend, whose name is never given. Jill and her boyfriend are, flirting and joking and doing that kind of thing, while, like Virginia is like your typical Star Wars kid. If you saw Star Wars in 1977, unfortunately I didn't. I only saw Empire Return in the theater. But I would imagine when I remember going to see Empire and being that kid walking out of the theater, she's, pretending to swing a lightsaber in the air and, having a grand old time. And meanwhile, like I said, her sister and her boyfriend are flirting and, lovey-dovey. Meanwhile, we see a heavier set character. He crosses the street and Manny and Spanish Scott pull him into this alleyway, and they just beat the living shit out of him. And when I say beat the living shit out of him, I mean they beat him to the point where he's fucking dead, unfortunately. Also, we see Virginia witness this whole thing, and she's like, as you would imagine as a kid at that age, witnessing this event, just absolutely shocked. After this event happens, Spanish Scott, who's kind of a badass, he's talking to Manny, and he's like, listen, this is what we had to do. It had to be done. And he's still, berating him about not mentioning the thing about Harry sooner. He's like, dude, you should have fucking said something to Lonnie, our boss. You shouldn't be just casually mentioning this in conversation now. So this whole conversation transpires between them, and then they walk out of the alleyway. The body's, in the corner dead, and Spanish Scott locks eyes with Virginia Applegate. And in that moment, he realizes that she witnessed this event. He holds up a bloody finger like this and goes, shh. And from that point, they go on their way. We don't really see Georgie, obviously, is dead. We don't see Spanish Scott or Lonnie for the rest of the episode. They're just kind of introduced in the beginning there. That little whole transaction takes place. You will, down the road in future issues, see Spanish Scott and Manny. So just to give you a heads up, no spoilers, but just to give you a heads up, this is how the whole world connects. Down the road, everybody shows up. That happens. And at that point, Jill realizes she has to get back home with Virginia. Virginia's just a kid, she has to go to bed and all that stuff. So they go about their way. They get home, and you can see that Virginia is still really disturbed and upset. She immediately takes off upstairs and goes to her bedroom. She starts crying. Now, Jill is a selfish little bitch, pardon my French. She chases her upstairs. And basically, the reason she does it, not because she's concerned about her little sister, but just because she's concerned that her little sister is going to rat her out that she was spending time with her boyfriend instead of just spending time with her little sister. Virginia is, upset, and she confides in her older sister, looking for solace and comfort, and she tells her what happened, and Jill's basically like, blows her off. It's like, well, shit happened, stuff happened. Just try to forget about it. Some fucking older sister, right? Like, thanks, sis. I appreciate the love and support. I'm a little kid and I just witnessed a fucking murder. Come on. So it's fucked up, man. The series is fucked up, guys, but it's good. So next, we flash forward to October. And it's Halloween season, my favorite season of the year, guys. I'm rocking the Halloween stuff here, got the gear. Virginia's in class, and you kind of see the way other kids treat her. They treat her like the school misfit or the school weirdo. And in particular, this one kid, Kevin, is just like that fucking nasty bully. We always had that one kid in class. I had one too, who always wants to fucking talk shit, right? Especially when they're younger. For some reason, I don't know why kids are like that, but they are, man. It took me years to become an asshole, guys. I wasn't instantly one as a kid, I promise. No, I'm joking. But there's always that one fucking kid that's got to be a dick, right? So this kid just relentlessly bullies her. He just constantly, day in and day out. And finally, she like snaps, and she stabs him with a fucking pencil right in his hand. And he's fucked up, like he's like, oh shit, he didn't expect that. So then that happens, and then her teacher tries to restrain her, and she almost gets bitten in the process because a teacher's being aggressive. So like, shit's really going down, guys. Virginia's parents are called into a parent-teacher conference, and mom is just like more horrified and embarrassed that she's call into this, and that her daughter would dare, disgrace the family name, where dad's more concerned. And he even like kind of makes a joke. He's like, listen, it definitely wasn't what you should have done. Next time, just, fucking take a knee him right in the fucking balls, lay him out that way, you know what I mean? But you don't have to fucking stab him, So, yeah, that's pretty much our middle area, And, like I said, this kid's really, obviously, Virginia's really screwed up by this whole thing, and would be, this kind of things traumatize us as a kid, So finally, we get to our climactic third act, guys. It's Halloween, and Virginia is dressed up as an adorable ghost, and she's taken out with her sister Jill. And her sister Jill, of course, is a fucking asshole. And after a couple stops, she bails on her, and Virginia goes along her way, and then she's, trick-or-treating, doing her thing. She's trying to have a good time, trying to forget the past. And who shows up but Kevin and his little buddy of bullies. They drag her to the woods. They basically beat the living shit out of her. He actually takes a knife and cuts her face. And then another kid knocks her over the head with like a toy gun. And she is knocked unconscious. She's in the woods, face down. And that's how our episode ends, guys. Victimology. Now, I will say she's not dead, guys. So don't scare you too much. I know we're getting to Halloween. She does show up in later episodes, so I will give you that spoiler. But yeah, no, it's fucking crazy, guys. And like I said earlier, all these characters, most of them, 99% of them, show up in other issues, and they evolve, and there's a whole connectivity to it. I love this series, guys. I love the artwork, which I'm going to show right now. I'm going to actually pull out my issue just to give you an idea of his style of art. It's black and white, but not only do I like the artwork, I love the writing. And I know I make the Pulp Fiction comparison to kind of explain the back and forth with the story in the different timelines, but it's really its own unique thing, and it's really epic. I would say, it has so many elements of what make a story good. I mean, if you like the Sin City stuff, it's got some noir elements. It's so good, guys. This gives you an idea, like his style of artwork. It's done like panels and stuff. It's really cool, guys. I can't say enough good things about this series, and I'm probably going to do down the road some more coverage of some of the other issues. The best way to do a deep dive into this series, if you guys are interested, I mean, obviously, if you want to do the electronic way, Kindle, there's nothing wrong with that. I prefer physical, but I'm not going to lie. Sometimes I pick up digital because it is cheaper. You have, just bear with me for a second, guys. A couple ways you can go about it. You have this thing, which came out in 2014, which is called the Uber Alice edition of Stray Bullets. This thing, I think, is about $40, maybe $50. And it has the original first 41 issues, and it's a complete run. It's paperback, so it's not hardback, but it gives you the wham bam, thank you ma'am, whole first 41 issues. And then from there, if you like this, you can go to the second arc, which I mentioned earlier, Sunshine and Roses, which I think is also about 41 issues. So that's one way to do it. You can obviously just hunt down the individual issues, or they make these other volumes that I picked up initially, when Dave Lapham was self-publishing through El Capitan Books. These hardcovers are really nice. They're a little bit harder to come by. I think they came out with like 2 or 3 of them, but that's also another way to go. Anyway, there's multiple different ways that you can go to pick this up, but it's definitely well worth your time. I think you guys will love it. Give it a chance. Tell me what you think. So before I end for this episode, what's on everybody's reading list? What are you guys reading? Any good books? Any graphic novels? Are we seeing any good movies? Last night I saw Haunting in Venice by Kenneth Branagh. Fantastic, guys. I enjoyed it. I love horror, but I feel like sometimes the mainstream stuff's good, sometimes it's not. You never know what you're going to get. And then today I'm going to finally see Oppenheimer. I'm hoping for good things. I feel like with Nolan, it's hit or miss, but I'm hoping for good things. I'm going to see that. And there's a horror anthology called, I think, Hispanic Satanic or something like that. I'll get the name right and correct it in the next episode. But so I'm going to do a double feature. A lot of the movie theaters nowadays are enticing people in. And I'm sure you guys know about this. They give you like a movie pass kind of thing. Like AMC is my local theater, and they have for like in New Jersey, it's $26 a month, and you can see up to 3 movies a week. So if you're a film geek, it's an affordable way to still go to the movie theaters, And I love still seeing stuff on the big screen. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love my 4Ks and my Blu-rays, and I have a little 65-inch screen TV, so it's fun. But seeing stuff on the big screen is still my jam, But so that's all I'm gonna say for right now. Thank you guys again for all your support and your love, and I hope you enjoy your Sunday. I will hopefully be posting episode 8 later on today about Tin Cup, one of my favorite all-time movies with Kevin Costner. If I don't get to it today, it'll definitely be first thing tomorrow morning. So you guys take care. Enjoy.